Why should everyone out there move to Dukaan instead of Shopify?
It is super easy to get started. Try setting up one store using Shopify. You'll realize the pain.
You have raised $17 million.
19 D2C brands which got funded on Shark Tank. 3 of them started their whole journey on Dukaan itself. We didn't even know. Next time I'll make sure like that percentage is at least 80%. Let it continue. Like we won't listen कि like कौन सा बड़ा वाला CTO बोल रहा है कि तुम ये करो. हमारे CTO को जो लगता है वो करेगा. ऐसा है.
Let's say if you're planning to launch international markets in 3 months or 6 months, I have to figure out everything is in place to enable that. So when the business decides that we want to go launch internationally, we have to make sure we have that, and we have that figured out. Whenever you want to say, you just say yes, I will switch on the button and everything will go live ready.
Hey everyone, we are with the founders of Dukaan, with Suumit and Subhash. So it's wonderful to have you here guys on the What Goes Behind podcast. In this podcast, we actually see what goes behind building startups, behind raising funds, behind building culture, building team and scaling up. So welcome Suumit and Subhash on the show.
Thank you so much for having us, Gautam. Thanks, Gautam.
So we'll just keep it straight to the point. It's more about learnings, what we give to the audience, and that is what the purpose of this podcast is. We can start with, how did you start? You have done multiple startups before this together. What have been the learnings? How did you start?
It was supposed to be a hackathon project. First of all, because we had nothing to do. It was a peak of lockdown, and I saw like there was a moment when somebody sent me a PDF file, and the brand was Jockey, right? And what they said is like you can just go ahead and place your orders on WhatsApp. Now immediately we could figure out that you cannot do business on WhatsApp business in a scalable way. For instance, if you get 100 orders, then it becomes like hassle to organize all these orders and everything. So that was the starting point. Like since we don't have anything else to do, let's try to solve this problem. That's how like it started.
And what were your previous startups? What were you doing there?
It was Rankz. It was kind of the productized version of services that we used to provide in Price Metric back those days. But as soon as we figured out that services are not scalable, you have to attend all the meetings and calls and so on, we simply shut down the service agency, although it was doing like extremely amazing. Rankz was the beginning of the SaaS thing for both of us.
Pretty much remember around 2 years back when there was a boom of yours name and Rank's name on LinkedIn. I was like, what is this going on? If there is a post on SEO, you had to be there on comment section. How did you do that?
SEO it's more like an experience game rather than one straight path towards achieving something. Like for instance, in case of ads, you could see all the numbers and CPCs and all that, so you know how to optimize. But in case of SEO, nobody knows like what to do. Now, giving example of like what you asked, like why we are present everywhere, be it Raismatic, be it Subhash or be it Suumit, it's because we went much deeper into like how the Google works, and it's been like more than 10 years. Google keeps changing their algorithms like crazy. So very few people have understanding of how the Google works.
What led to people recommending you?
That comes with, what kind of results you drive to somebody. If somebody is happy with you, they'll recommend your name like crazy. So he built like a lot of tools which exclusively gives you insights about what you should be doing next in order to grow, which nobody else had. Like for instance, back in housing, I think we used to track around 300,000 keywords a day just to see like how our positions are changing on Google. Now, what we added is like, why do we track just our own site? Why can't we track our competitors as well? Now that comes with the experience and tech which Subhash was building, which you will explain about. Like what was that core secret sauce of Raismatic or Subhash or Suumit behind being on like every single table where the name SEO pops up.
Subhash, please.
So see, when you see marketing, right? Marketing have mostly two sides. One is your organic, one is your inorganic. Inorganic is like paid marketing. Anyone can pay money and do whatever they want. That is like figured out. Everything is like metrics.
It's so awesome to hear marketing from a tech guy. It's already blowing me off.
I have 8 years in marketing, 8 years in tech. That combination is very hard to get. So marketing is basically, at least in the paid marketing, everything is figured out. It's mostly science. You increase one number, you increase your bid, you increase your CPC. Immediately you will see something changes. Then you're able to track and you're able to see, okay, if I change this is happening. So it's a very structured game.
And the feedback is instantaneous, right?
Yeah.
Like if the moment you realize like this campaign is not getting good CTR, then you change the creative, change the copies and everything. Versus in SEO, it's a long term. You don't know like which wrong decision you took like 6 months back.
In the SEO, there is no science. It's mostly art, and arts will take a lot of time to get understanding of how everything will work. And then you start to get a taste, you start understanding that what I'm doing, how is that changing? And that you can only learn with experience. As you put more and more time, as you go deeper, as you do 100 experiments, say, okay, I did this experiment, this works. Even then, the experiment that we are doing today might or might not work tomorrow, because the algorithms of Google and all the search engines are changing every day. So the experiment that you run today might work today, but tomorrow it might not even work. So you have to still go down, go deep, everything, with every little thing that you're doing, you have to track it, understand what I'm doing, then make a kind of process around it. Okay, if I do it, is the thing that I did, can that be repeated? Can that not be repeated? There are certain things you can repeat, certain things you won't be able to repeat. So what we figured out, that there are things that we can easily figure out and repeat. We made that from a service, which we were doing manually, to a product, which was the Rankz product. And we figured out, okay, if I am able to do this manually every time, if we can just turn it as in a product. For example, so we talked about tracking the keywords. Tracking is the very basic step of improving. If you can't measure, you won't be able to improve. So understanding that, okay, for example, a real estate customer, for example, they want to understand if they want to increase the traffic. They want to first understand that where I'm getting the traffic from, which keywords is driving traffic, which keywords are not driving traffic. And until they track, they won't be able to know. The tools in the market that time were not scaled enough to support their kind of use case that they have.
Yeah, I think the max limit was 2,000.
Correct.
And when you want to track like 300,000 keywords, then you have to export, those many reports, then learn how to combine the Excel sheets and then present the graphs and so on. It will take like at least 3 days for me to just pull one report. That was the simple problem that we picked up in the Rankz. Started scaling, I think like we crossed beyond $1.3 million ARR, because we knew like this is the problem that
had $1.3 million ARR.
Yeah, within 10 months, I guess.
With Rankz, we had to track like we have to crawl Google like 6 million times a day to just understand what is going on.
Yeah, we never used to crawl Google, but there were like certain other technologies that we used to work with.
So they will kind of tell you what is going on, what is not going on. So that is like building is something like that. So it's very difficult to do. Then when we started building Rankz was the kind of technology we were building. We were tracking pretty much entire internet. Figure out who is doing what, who is linking to whom, who is talking about whom, what is the kind of metrics that they have, what is the source of the website, what is the authority of the website, based on that, which kind of insights we can get. Those kind of things we keep building, and that helped us learn that, okay, these things we can do. Rankz was first entry in the SaaS, software as a service space, but we were on to something bigger.
How do you think about ideas? How do you know that, okay, this will click?
I think it comes naturally, right? Like when you see that like this is a particular problem that I'm facing, it's just common sense about how many other people might be facing the same problem, whether they will pay for the solution or no, whether there is an existing solution, how efficient that is, and all those things. So I don't think there is a structured way to answer this question.
And how do you develop conviction for that?
Again, like experience, right? Like it's all about connecting the dots. Like for instance, when Dukaan started, the first fundamental should be how big is the e-commerce, at what rate it is going in India and all that. But that was none of my concern for me. The only point for me which was relevant is like, despite of me being a computer engineer, I am not able to set up my own store. So there are at least millions of people. I don't care whether it is 20 million, 60 million, or maybe it could be like 100 million when the scope of Dukaan goes beyond India. But I knew like it's a huge market. This is what I will suggest. Like, understand what is the problem, who is solving that problem, how efficiently they are solving the problem, and the most important, whether people will pay you to solve that problem or not, which is the critical part. Now, whether people will pay you or not, that was given because Shopify is already a $200 billion company. So it is a proof. Like somebody is also already doing the same thing in US. Now, whether that thing can make sense in India or not. So the answer is
also you took the plunge, right? You have 1.3 million of ARR and you do something totally different now.
Yeah, because the revenue was going down. Okay. The Rankz was marketing tool. The moment COVID started, everybody started pulling off the marketing budgets like crazy. So, and there is nothing we can do about it, right? Like it's like catching the falling knife. I can't go and convince to increase your market budget when you know that the cab service is, shut down.
And today, where does Dukaan stand in number of users and all?
We have 3,000 paid customers.
And in terms of usability, how many stores are live?
3,000. If you don't pay, then you are not live. So last month we took a decision where we won't be continuing with the free plan anymore.
But the free plan had how many users?
Free plan had more than 6 million downloads. So I would say like more than 4.5 million stores created altogether.
How is this going now? Because now you have stopped it. So how is the customer behavior?
The top funnel is like almost we acquire like 70 to 100,000 new merchants every single a month. And then probably like 1,000, 1,500 of them gets converted to the premium plan.
And this position is via?
100% organic. We don't spend
100% organic.
We don't spend on Facebook or on Google at all. Because see, the core thing is you cannot convince someone to start an e-commerce store by showing that. It has to come from within, like I want to do something, because we don't work like Amazon where you listed your products and you started getting the sale from next day. Setting up the store is one part, being capable of driving the orders is another. So what we are going after is like people who already understand like how the commerce works, and they are like there are different challenges, be it commission rates, be it setting up your own store, hosting your website, and scale like the one which Subhash previously explained to you.
And what is the team size today?
200 people now.
200 people now. And this has scaled from how many?
40 people, I guess, back 6-8 months back.
6-8 months back, 40 people. And before that?
Before, we were just like 7 people in Rankz.
7 people in Rankz. Right?
Same team who started Dukaan.
Got it. 7 people in Rankz to 40 in Dukaan and then 200 today. Right? I started podcasting initially because I felt that going to 10 people is easy. Going to 7 people is easy. You can hire interns, you can hire, decently paid people also, you can get that team. But growing from that is a different mindset. Or there is something that, I need to learn in a sense. Right? What went different in terms of a mindset when you went from 7 to 40 and then 40 to 200?
So, see, all the businesses have their short-term plus long-term goals. Now, in order to fast-pace your journey, you want like multiple teams to build certain things which are already proven. Like, for instance, the basic commerce platform, which has things like discount coupons and marketing tools and everything. At the same time, you want to try out like multiple things as well. And we cannot interfere, like both the teams. So both the teams and the pods needs to be set up differently. Now, how the team and all that works, it works on like very different basis for different teams. Like for instance, for the tech, he'll explain like how the tech has grown because that's the significant team that Dukaan has.
Right. And how many techies?
Around 60-65% is all the tech people.
Almost 120, 30.
Tech people.
Around 100 plus.
100 plus people tech. And you have hired 100 plus people in last 6 months.
In the last 3 months, I would say.
Yeah,
last 3 months.
We started actively hiring in November or December. We started actively hiring.
मार्केट खराब किया आप लोगों ने.
खराब तो नहीं यार, जिसको जो जहाँ पे मजा आता है वो वही पे. The money is the least concern for people who join Dukaan.
Right, absolutely. And how do you think about driving people to your vision? Like because people come from very different environments, right? And now you were saying that okay, this is our vision and you need to be attached to it. How do you do that?
See, the idea of Dukaan is so generic that I can guarantee that even you felt sometime कि यार ये तो मेरा idea था, मेरे को fund मिलना चाहिए.
I'll be really honest. I have gone to at least 20 shops in my town to install Dukaan and without any affiliate commission. Just because that I felt कि यार इसका तो फायदा होना चाहिए. They should do this. Why aren't they doing this? Like that was the whole point, right?
So the whole thing, right? Like everybody feels that this is actually creating the impact on ground. Plus we both keep posting like what kind of impact we are creating. Like be it Aroma Dhaba and H2 Canteen from IIT Bombay doing like thousands of orders to somebody who is selling land. Brands like Nivea and View Television, for example. We never thought like, Nivea will start using Dukaan. But then they told us like, okay, we have set up the separate team who handles all this Dukaan. We have set up the store for each of the distributor and all that. But what we realize is like, as you go higher in the organization, people who take a decision to buy that particular software, they'll just pick anything. And they'll tell you, like, नीचे वालों को कि लगा तुम लोग use करो. For the first time it is happening कि now these smaller people are choosing कि like ठीक है मैं चाय पीने से पहले मेरा दुकान बन रहा है and this is new product that we wanted to test in the market is live already. Now they can convince their bosses कि यार तुम क्यों इतना agency और सब कुछ 50 चीजें कर रहे हो करके when we can do. Big Bazaar is another example. Okay. For instance, like they have been testing Dukaan platform like bunch of their stores despite of having their own central Big Bazaar. Right. Because that has like different unique problems कि like हर Big Bazaar का inventory is not manageable from central destination and so on. So I think that is already happening, the enterprise, the D2C. Even on the Shark Tank, I think 19 D2C brands which got funded on Shark Tank. 3 of them started their whole journey on Dukaan itself. We didn't even know. Okay. Like ये already Dukaan पे है. वो तो बाद में पता चला. Next time I'll make sure like that percentage is at least 80%.
I've seen this happening myself. People are moving from Shopify or WooCommerce, very well established brands. We have taken an inspiration from them also. They're moving to Dukaan. What in the product, what in the marketing, or what essentially happened? At least 3 things that is enabling this shift, and why should everyone out there move to Dukaan if they're on Shopify?
The very first one is like it is super easy to get started. Okay. What I will suggest you is like try setting up one store using Shopify and just add like bunch of products and do basic things like integration with your delivery company and the UPI. You will realize the pain. That is the first part. Second is, okay, so Shopify gives you the identity, like you are running your store at your own and so on. Amazon gives you demand. Think of Dukaan is like in the middle of both. which gives you identity as well as drives you
Because
help to demand.
you have that search.
Dukaan Infinity is the program that we have, which helps you with the additional demand generation as well, which Shopify does not have.
Okay.
And for the PG like India, they need like some sort of understanding of how the digital work. Like think this way, when we were running Rise Metric, who were our customers? Those are all like Series A, Series B, and even like people like McDonald's and Sony. Why would they come to us at the first place when they already have like so much money and everything? So it's pretty much the same here as well. The moment we pitch a brand like VU and say that okay, like we are going to provide you the platform as well as help you with the demand generation part, then they are like, fine, like why would I tie my destiny to like somebody else's hand who might replicate the same product tomorrow and throw me out of the aggregate? That's the approach. Versus for the smaller people, the solution is pretty straightforward, right? Like one of our power base is all the content creators or maybe like Instagram influencers who are selling their own scrunchies and mobile cases and all that. Now, one girl, like for instance, has like 10,000 followers. She said like she gets around 200 DMs each day asking her like which colors are available in the scrunchies and do you support the Google Pay payment method. Now, problem doesn't stop there. Problem is like when the next order is successful, the girls start asking where is my order. Now, why do you want to keep responding to each of them? This way, you will never be able to do a business in a scalable way. Versus you set up your store and put your link in the bio. You only talk to the people who have like some sort of problems, right? So there you can focus on things which matters, which could be either scaling your product range or maybe sorting the supply side or maybe something else, right? I don't think like you have to keep spending the time on figuring out which tech I should build, how do I host my website, and
because it's a lot of things. We tried this every time. You need to set up a website and all, right? You either go to WordPress and then you start setting up something, and then you shift to a no-code platform, and then you mess up with your blogs, and it's a whole mess.
Plus the next level thing is the scalability and lot of future integrations. Because what we have seen is like the journey of particular seller is gradual here. The guy who is adding one product will ask you next week, like, how do I add 100 products? The same guy is going to ask you, can I have a hyperlocal delivery integration with, say, Dunzo? The same guy will ask you, hey, can I connect with my Tally? And the invoice number should match. So he's not going to stop his requirement. He's continuously keep asking all these requirements, and Indians, like what kind of requirements they have.
How do you think about competition? It's a good competitive space. It's not...
I don't think we have any competition apart from Shopify, to be honest.
But there are.
There are who claims to be a competition, but I don't care, to be honest.
And amazing part is that all their competitors have been named Dukaan tech companies. Yeah, so you have heard that.
At least like it sets example in the market what not to do. At least the kind of product, because this is the product game. This is not like business development or fleet on street or something. Because again, proven in US, we are already seeing it's happening. So the tech and product, I don't think there is even single company which is close enough to us building the product what we have built.
Yeah, it's very smooth. I've used it. You're dealing with a very new market. It's called the Bharat market, right? If we say it, I understand you're doing enterprisement market. All of that is there, and the shift is happening. But I think majorly, how many percentage customers come from tier 2, tier 3, or the local shops in a sense?
See, the local shops is not our targeted customer group, right? Like, because in that category, the incremental demand is not possible. The right audience for us is enterprises, the D2C brands, or the first-time internet entrepreneurs who is exploring things like dropshipping, for example, or someone the scrunchies example that I told you. This specific Instagrammer, her store name is called bluebear.store. Her mom makes all the scrunchies. That's what I heard. And she's the one who has understanding of how do I sell the scrunchies. So it's a collective first-time internet entrepreneur, which nobody has counted in that market survey of, India has 60 million SMBs. So we ourselves don't know like how big is the market. It's definitely much bigger than...
So you're targeting these 60 million SMBs?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it depends upon like what product you are selling. Because see, what we are offering is a software piece. Like tomorrow if you set up your store and started selling Parle-G biscuit, you are not going to get any sales for sure.
Right.
But tomorrow if you start selling some designer scrunchies, which even an influencer sitting in the Delhi wants, you are my targeted customer. It doesn't matter whether you are from the second tier cities. As I say, like world is flat.
Coming on to that only, so you got around 5 to 6 million downloads and 4.5 million stores, right? And now you know that okay, you are doing paying 3,000 customers. What made you take that decision that okay, we need to stop it now?
See, every single business need to find a viable business model.
Right.
The earlier you find it, better it would be. Otherwise, then you will just have to keep diluting your equity,
Right.
just to raise money and find the path towards PMF. So since we know that like we already achieved the PMF for the kind of people that we want to go after.
And are you also losing out on our audience type for this?
Like if somebody is not paying me for the software that I've built, which is adding the value, then he's anyways not my customer. Okay. It's as that simple.
How good is the acquisition on this now? The paid plan?
Paid plan is doing like fairly decent, like almost 40-50% growth month on month. Because the base number is small right now, and the whole focus right now is just growing that base.
Also, how has you're using WhatsApp, right, for sending notifications and some delivery and all of that? How has that been an enabler?
SMS nobody is reading, right? Everyone, you, me, everyone gets sit on a SMS, lots of SMSs, but nobody's going to read them. If you can send, even if you send a notification through SMS, the engagement is very low, the open rates are very low. So what we figure out that is there a way we can send the notifications directly through WhatsApp, which like everyone is reading. The open rates and the click-through rates that you will see on WhatsApp is through the roof. So we use official WhatsApp APIs. We partner with them to send notifications to the buyer on behalf of the seller on every interaction with the store. When they place the order, we send a notification. When they receive the order, we send a notification. The order is shipped, it will receive to you within whatever XYZ amount of time. Yeah. When the order is delivered, we tell them the order is delivered. How was your experience?
And I think that brings a lot of trust.
The store is not a black box. They have a face. They have someone to talk to. Now, if they want to call the seller, we even give them the number of the seller to talk to, which is not the case on a marketplace like Amazon or Flipkart. You don't know who the seller is. Right. For you, the marketplace is the face of the company. In this case, the seller is the face of the company. Okay. So the trust is there, the kind of connection is there. They are building their own brand, which is not the case with anything else. So that is where we thought of going with WhatsApp instead of anything else.
Plus, I think WhatsApp allows us a lot of rich media and the images and bold, italic, link clickable, track everything. So if you use it in the correct way, then of course you can get crazy ROIs on WhatsApp.
Now you are a 200 people company. What do you do and what do you do today? How does your day start? How does it end?
Everything keeps changing every single day. Like for instance, today you called, asked for the podcast. I had to empty my time in the morning, but I don't have like any structured day, to be honest.
What do you track?
How the overall happiness index of companies growing, whether we are able to achieve the things that we have planned in the short term, in the long term, both. Who all new people are interested to become a part of Dukaan, what kind of value they can add. So I just see like which direction we are heading and what is the direction I want the company to head. Versus rest of the folks will do their individual parts and run their individual team.
For me, it's mostly, so we have people figured out for everything, front and back end. My job is to figure out things that will happen after 6 months or 1 year, which I have to start working from now. I have to figure out everything is in place to enable that. So when the business decides that we want to go launch intensely, I don't have to tell bro, we have to wait 6 months because we don't have these things in place. I have to make sure we have that. And we have that figured out. Whenever you want to say, you'll say yes, I will switch on the button and everything will go live ready. For example, this week I'm working on is, let's say right now we have lots of stores. How do you stop one store from taking down everyone else? How do you stop one guy from taking down everything else? How do you do that? So if I took 6 or 7 years to figure that out. We are less than 6 months, we have to figure that out. So these kind of things I look into. Okay, and we'll check that box. Okay, now we have this figured out. Let's take the next part. The next part is, for example, enabling the plugin ecosystem. How do you get, like now we are building the themes and plugins ourselves. How do we get more and more third-party developers to come on the platform and build the integrations and plugins so our code doesn't have to be too complex? How do I make sure that my core product is very solid, very rock solid, and very open and pluggable so anyone can come and just plug in whatever they want?
And how do you set up these processes? Like this is all very automated. You are thinking 6 months farther from here now. You're not solving for the issues today. And same goes for you, right? You're managing the culture, you're managing the happiness index. What went into setting up these processes?
I will just speak about the culture. What I personally think is like, you cannot set the culture. It's the people who set the culture by themselves.
So, see, when it comes to culture, right? It's like, are people happy? What makes people unhappy is micromanagement. Are they happy with what they are doing? Boring work will make them not happy. And if people are not happy, they will throw all kind of tantrums. They will speak about things. They will gossip. They will do all kind of stuff. That's what makes your culture bad. We have given everyone very good freedom on what they can do, what they can't do. Everyone knows what is their job. Everyone knows how to execute it. I don't do and ask them like, kya hua, kahan hua. It's their job. They have a problem to solve. They will figure it out. They will implement. Even we don't know a lot of stuff, right? We figure out. If I hired that guy, if I trusted that guy to figure things out, he will figure out. If he's stuck somewhere, something we can help with, of course, happy to do it. But we don't do that kind of micromanaging that, okay, do this in this way, this is the structure, this is the set diagram, but this is how you have to implement. I don't have architecture telling them, the engineers that this is how it has to be done. Okay. The engineer is the architecture. Yeah. We have the problem, he is the architecture, he will figure out, he will implement. Yes. With the ownership that if I am implementing something, I am the one who will be called off if something breaks. So he will put 10 kind of 10x more effort and understanding into what he's building compared to if it is someone's design. Yeah, let's say someone's architecture is like, मेरे को क्या उसने बनाया था मैंने डाल दिया. Correct ना? उसको पूछो. That blame game start becoming there. Then you have politics. And if you have politics in this early stage, it can only grow, it can go down. So that's where we do that. Okay, we empower people. We trust that whom we are hiring. The hiring process itself, we have to understand whom we are hiring. If we trust him to do the job, we trust him to do the job. And that's where make people happy that, okay, they will keep doing whatever they do.
And I think hiring comes down to a lot. Like I had interviews with a couple of more founders recently, and everything came down to hire good people.
See, the good and bad are like relative terms. For me, who is good, for great designer, it might not be a good. The criteria is like you give him full freedom. You expect or you explain him like these are the things that I expect from you. If the guy fails to do the thing within like next couple of months, then of course like we have to let him go, which very like rarely happen in Dukaan. Once somebody comes in the company, then they understand कि यार यहाँ पे अलग level पे चल रहा है सब कुछ. So they themselves try to push to the things. I'll give you example. Like we had one of the intern who built the whole basic Canva kind of thing within like literally 2 weeks. For him, it is for the first time his code is going live on the production. For him, like, he was super happy, and that thing I will tell you like it's super difficult to build. No, उसका perception ये था कि यार मेरे से इतने स्टड लोग यहाँ पे बैठे हैं और वो इतने फास्ट कर रहे हैं. It doesn't matter me कि मैं रात को 12 बजे तक काम करूँगा या 3 बजे तक करूँगा, but ये लाइव जाएगा. Why? Because I want to prove to my manager कि like I have the skills, so that I'll get to learn like a lot of things. Because tech me, like whatever you learn tomorrow, it's absolute. The competition among themselves or the joy of working together. Like for instance, he spoke about solving the problems or like go figure out things yourself. ऐसा नहीं कि like वही उसी को सारा figure out करना है. The manager is sitting right in front of him. वो सिर्फ जाएगा ये पता है बताओ यहाँ पे कैसे help करना है. They help instead of same conversation routing through multiple processes and I'll get back to you on this guy is CC'd. वो सब कुछ चाहिए नहीं है. सामने बैठो सब कुछ सामने fix कर दो and go live on production. It's as that simple. So that's the process that we are.
And what helped you to hire so many people in such a short amount of time?
हमारा वही कि process कुछ है नहीं.
It's like this guy was hired in 5 minutes because he sent me just one of the video that he created. I just asked him like whether you actually created this video. He said yes. I said you are here. Okay. So it's as that simple because once you spend like tens of years running an agency, तुम्हें पता है कौन तुम्हारा काट रहा है कौन नहीं काट रहा. There are people जो सिर्फ ज्ञानबाजी करेंगे, जो है वो execution करने वाले अलग है. तुम्हें पता चल जाता है by speaking with the guy for like next 5, 10, 15 minutes and both of us are like so straightforward कि घुमा फिरा के मत बताओ, ये बताओ exactly output क्या था. I don't care whether you are like X series A वाला series B वाला, मेरे लिए क्या important है वो कर पा रहे हो तुम या नहीं.
And how did you guys meet?
He was the celebrity when I was learning all the SEO and everything. So he used to post a screenshot कि मैं दिन का ₹1,00,000 कमाया, 2 लाख कमाया. तो इसके थ्रेड पे जाके मैंने कमेंट कर दिया जब इसका कोई तो एडवर्ड्स वगैरह कुछ तो बैन हुआ था. And then this guy is pissed on me like why this guy is commenting against me. नहीं सर मिलते हैं अपन करके. So we met in Bombay. Back then I was working for housing. He was staying in Virar, which is outside of the Bombay part. तो while coming back from the meeting, I told him कि यार सर मेरे पास प्रोजेक्ट है बहुत बड़ा, आप आ जाओ, आपका भी कनेक्शंस बहुत है, बहुत पैसा कमाएंगे. बोला कितना पैसा कमाएंगे? बोला नेक्स्ट मंथ 50 लाख कमाएंगे. तो बोला ठीक है आ जाएंगे. बट इसके बैक ऑफ माइंड ये चल रहा था कि यार 50 लाख छोड़ो, 5 लाख भी अगर इस बंदे ने मान लिया तो बहुत बढ़िया है करके. I think it was, I don't know, 50 से तो ज़्यादा ही, बहुत ही ज़्यादा something था. And profit, not revenue, profit.
Profit था. First month.
When you drive a crazy growth to companies like housing, then you know like what are the rewards. Because यहाँ पे numbers important नहीं, कितने time में वो चीज़ कर रहे हो वो important है. Look up keyword, we rank within 24 hours. There is no single company in the world which can do the same thing. I can write it down.
That's an interesting story.
And that comes with like 10 years का experience.
आपको आंखों में जुनून दिखा?
लगा कि ये कुछ तो करेगा. कहाँ तक जाएगा क्या करेगा नहीं पता, बट लगा पागल कुछ तो करेगा. मतलब
आगे ऊपर ही है.
See, almost we have been doing this for almost 15 years now, right? The BS radar is very active. We can catch BS in like literally first 5 minutes of someone. यार ये बंदा फेंक रहा है, ये बंदे को एक्चुअल कुछ आता है. And from there you kind of understand कि ये क्या करना चाहता है क्या नहीं करना चाहता है. It helps you in even getting more people, whether it's marketing, whether it's tech, doesn't matter. Like marketing में ही experience नहीं है, like can easily figure out ये बंदा फेंक रहा है, इसको एक्चुअल में कुछ आता है. Tech में we have been doing this almost 8-9 years. We are not first time founders कि यार हमको खुद नहीं पता क्या बनाना है. We know कैसे चलता है. We just need to understand इसको कितना आता है.
And again, this is not limited for resources that or employees that you hire in the company. It is applicable even for the partnership. जैसे कल जाके मेरे को कोई तो पेमेंट गेटवे बोलेगा कि like मेरे साथ पार्टनरशिप कर दे. I know like whether that thing is going to work or not. Because previously some of the company that I worked with might have tried and I know all the numbers inside out. So वो भी बहुत easier हो जाता है even for the partnerships and so on. So it is not just limited for the employees, I guess.
How do you move so fast?
So what we have done is we will remove all the layers in between the work that has to be done and from the guy who will do the work. बीच में कुछ layer नहीं है, managers है ना product managers है, ये है वो कुछ भी नहीं है. उसके पास काम आया, ये requirement है, ये design है.
और ये कैसे flow होता है फिर?
The designer will figure out, so business team will figure out क्या बनाना है. They will decide the priority. Sumit will decide, या फिर product में जो बंदे हैं वो decide करेंगे कि कब बनाना है. Designer will get the requirement from the business team. Designer is very experienced. He have built the product from ground up till here. So he have a very good understanding of कि कैसे बनेगा. He is like exact copy of Sumit right now. He knows क्या बनाना, क्या नहीं बनाना है, कैसे बनाना है. He will create the design. Once we have the design, why do we need anything else? We give the design to the coder कि भैया ये बनाना है, जो आगे कोड कर ले. He will start coding it. बस हो गया. Let's say we are doing a third party integration. Let's say we are trying to integrate with Simple or LazyPay or Azure Pay with something. Most people, what they do is they will put a product manager, they will put engineering manager. The engineering manager will talk with their engineering manager.
Then a PRD, then a this, then
And उसके बाद वो डायग्राम बनाएंगे, ये सब बनाएंगे. मैं बोलता नहीं, तू कौन इसमें से कौन इंटीग्रेट करने वाला, मैं इंटीग्रेट करने वाला. ये तुम ले, उधर का बंदा कौन है, टेक्निकल बंदा तुम ले, दोनों कॉल पे साथ में आ जा, फिगर आउट कर ले जो भी है, खत्म कर ले. कुछ भी फटेगा तो दोनों साथ में वापस कॉल पे आ जा, वो तुमको बता देगा, ये तुमको बता देगा, बीच में कुछ नहीं चाहिए. एंड दे फिगर आउट लाइक रियली फास्ट, क्योंकि उस वहाँ पे जिस बंदे ने टेक बनाया है, यहाँ पे जिस बंदे ने टेक बनाया है, दे नो एवरीथिंग अप टू मिनट डिटेल. उनके इंजीनियरिंग मैनेजर को आधी चीज़ें नहीं पता है, उसके प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर को आधी चीज़ और नहीं पता है. हिज प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर नो 25% ऑफ टेक्निकल्स. Our product manager, if we have in future, we will do the same. See, if the CEO is directly taking off the product, ना तो उसको पता है कि क्या बनाना है, क्या चाहिए. He is the one who is the most close to the users. He is the one who is most close to the business. उसको पता है क्या बनाना है. करेक्ट है. उसके बाद उसने डिजाइनर को दिया, डिजाइनर समझ में आ गया. देयर इज नो लेयर इन बिटवीन. ये सीईओ ने अपने वीपी को बोला, वीपी ने उसके वीपी को बोला, वीपी ने उसके सीनियर मैनेजर को बोला, उसने डिजाइनर को बोला, आधी चीजें रास्ते में खत्म हो गई. प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर ने अपने फ्लेवर का चार्ज इसमें चूरन और डाल दिया, सब बना के खिचड़ी बना के बोला बना दे. एंड फिर जब उसका बनेगा तो वो वापस एक लेयर ऊपर जाएगा. उसने बोला ये गलत बन गया, इसको थोड़ा चेंज कर. वो बोलेगा इसको गलत बन गया, इसको थोड़ा और चेंज कर. बनते बनते वो पूरा 2 महीने का साइकिल खत्म हो जाता है.
और बनता नहीं है फिर.
बन तो जाता है बट इवेंचुअली बनता है. वो बनता इवेंचुअली बनता है. ऐसा आई एम नॉट सेइंग लोग बनाते नहीं, बट इवेंचुअली बनाते हैं. ऐसा यहाँ पे ऊपर से आया, उसने बताया भाई ये बनाना है. इसने जैसे मीट ने उसको दिखा दिया, भैया ये देख सही लग रहा है. इसने बोला हाँ सही लग रहा है, डन हो गया. डजंट मैटर रात में 1 बजे बोला, रात में 3 बजे बोला, उसने बोला सही लग रहा है, डन हो गया. उसने नीचे आया, सबको बता दिया यही बनाना है, सॉर्टेड है.
एंड व्हाट आर द टाइमिंग्स, ऑफिस टाइमिंग्स एंड ऑल फॉर एवरीवन?
इट डिपेंड्स. लाइक कल रात को 4 बजे तक बैठे थे यार
सब लोग,
मतलब आधा टाइम तो था.
आधा टीम यहाँ पे था.
इट्स फन हियर. लाइक यहाँ पे 15 मिनट काम करो, एक जाके नीचे पूल गेम खेल रहे लोग. सो इट्स नॉट कि लाइक हम फोर्स कर रहे हैं. दीस पीपल नोज कि लाइक व्हेन देयर कोड गो लाइव, इट गिव्स देम लाइक अनदर लेवल ऑफ किक.
Okay.
These things or the processes that he is explaining, those are working like absolutely fine for us. कल जाके ये भी हो सकता है कि हम लोग को processes डालने पड़ेंगे, हो सकता है, because every company is going through like different stage, right? Like what we know कि like ये achieve करना है और इतना time है, तो this is how we should work. कल जाके हम लोग भी डाल देंगे processes if needed. अगर ऐसे चल रहा है तो we'll let it continue. Like we won't listen कि like कौन सा बड़ा वाला CTO बोल रहा है कि तुम ये करो. हमारे CTO को जो लगता है वो करेगा. ऐसा है. एंड इट इज द सेम इवन फॉर ऑल द लेयर्स ऑफ पीपल. कि जो बिजनेस वाले को सही लगता है वो करेगा. माइक्रो मैनेजमेंट वी डोंट वांट, लाइक आई डोंट वांट टू बी वरीड अबाउट कि ये वर्क फ्रॉम होम कर रहा है और टिंडर डेट पे गया है. इट्स नॉट ऑफ माय बिजनेस एंड आई शुड नॉट बी कंसर्न अबाउट दैट. दैट्स हाउ लाइक आई वांट टू कीप इट.
यू हैव रेज्ड $17 million. अभी तो जीरो गिनना पड़ेगा और पहले 75 से मल्टीप्लाई करके बताना पड़ेगा कि इसको कितने करोड़ बनते हैं ये.
ये वो तो मतलब ठीक है.
When do you think someone should actually raise?
Whenever you want to raise.
And why should they raise?
I would suggest like should not raise if you want like external people to get involved and want to grow like really. See, not everybody wants to build a big $1 billion business. Okay. There are people who want to like who are fine making like 2 lakh rupees a month. For those who want to like absolutely follow that fundraising ka path, I don't think they should build companies at the first place. If you are building companies just for the sake of fundraising, the way fundraising works, like I didn't know कि like दुकान के लिए कभी VC आ सकता है करके. The moment we got serious about दुकान is because like 2 lakh store already बन गए थे, and it was the third party or the VC interest that came by themselves.
Okay, 2 lakh स्टोर तक you are all bootstrapped and all.
हाँ मतलब वो तो 8 साल 10 साल से bootstrapped ही हम लोग करके. But when somebody comes and puts that number कि आज से तुम $22 million कंपनी हो, then you realize कि like नहीं इसमें तो बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा लगने वाला है तुम्हें करके. Then you take a decision कि like now whether you want to play that fundraising वाला game or whether you want to grow slowly. I would have preferred to grow slowly, but there is a thing कि the time that we are living in right now, it's kind of black tunnel. तुम्हें पता नहीं like how much time it is going to take for the world to get back to the normal state again. तीसरा वेव आने वाला है, 4, I don't know what is going to happen. So this is the time where we can go super aggressive by means of spending more or building products fast and so on. So it made sense for us to raise funds. The moment you take like 3 more years, there will be like 9,000 other companies who's building the exact same product. Then that is increasing your competition like crazy. By raising the funds, you are already cutting down the competition.
And what do VC see? You know, like what did they ask you? What did you offer them? What do they see actually, do you know, before funding you?
See, VC business is a business where their task is to multiply the money of their LPs. what they see is like how big this company can become. I'll give you a basic fundamental. If somebody thinks कि US is a $5 trillion retail economy and Shopify is already $200 billion company, according to that logic, if India is going to be a $1 trillion company, worst case में यहाँ पे at least 40-50 billion का company तो है. If Shopify model could exactly work in India, what they see is कि like what kind of traction is there, what kind of team is building the product, and how quickly this thing can grow. And I don't think they found any other company which is as good as Dukaan, so it was obvious that Dukaan will steal the show.
What do you think were the mistakes that you made, that you learned from, and that is why you are here where you are?
I can't think of like any specific mistakes as such, but I think what is important here is like you should know when to shift focus from thing A to thing B. If I wanted to maintain that thing like, okay, Suumit and Subhash are like top 0.1% SEO skill like gurus or like the people in the world and keep building ranks, then Dukaan will never happen. Would have like never happened, but it happened. And now we understand like we can build Dukaan for next 10 years. So having the sense of what is going to be become big and like how much you are going to personally enjoy that particular thing, because that's the ultimately that's what matters. Like whatever you are working on is giving you happiness or no. Now I knew personally like for me it is going to be fun, for him it is going to be like super fun, because what he explained कि 300 million keywords हम लोग track कर रहे थे. I know in Dukaan he is going to make that kind of request per day, so he is going to be like even super happier than me. And ultimately by like all this, the valuations and all that, everything is like just a byproduct. I don't care like मेरे valuation क्या है और मेरे bank account में कितना पैसा पढ़ाई करके, to be honest, like I don't even know, but I definitely know that this is creating the real impact on the ground. When we were at Dubai airport, one guy came and said he recognized us. Okay. Even the bike that he rented, he's like, "Oh, you are running really good company. I'm trying to set up my store." Now you imagine you are walking down the road of HSR and somebody comes to you and says कि like आपका podcast मैंने देखा है करके. That gives you another kind of like we love when people we could see like are dependent on the kind of things that we do, like not just us individually but overall team. So yeah, that's what keeps us moving all together.
See, we are engineers, right? We like to build, and if you give an engineer architect something to build, the bigger the ground is, the happier he will be. मेरे लिए तो वही है, मतलब दुकान में रैंक्स में से छोटा सा बनाने के लिए, राजमेट्रिक मुझसे भी छोटा था. Now world is my canvas, right? I can build whatever I want. Yeah. So that is the happiness. I stay awake till 3 a.m. 4 a.m. every night, and आज से नहीं 6 महीने से 1 साल से चल रहा है.
Oh, her wife says something else like you spend more time with Sumit but less time with me, and this situation has been there for the last 6 years. Every single year he will tell her wife कि like यार ये 2 साल बस इम्पोर्टेंट है, ये कर लो. वो 2 साल के बाद में तुम्हें पता चलता है कि यार आगे दो. इट्स प्रीटी मच लाइक मॉम जब 10th में बोलती थी कि यार बेटा 2 साल पढ़ ले, फिर 12th के बाद पता चलता है यार ये आर्ट्स कॉमर्स साइंस आ गया, उसके बाद इंजीनियरिंग आ गया, MBA आ गया. सो दैट जर्नी इज द सेम फॉर फाउंडर्स एज वेल, आई थिंक.
राइट. अपन भी हम भी बताते रहते हैं कि बस अगले 6 महीने और करना है, फिर उसके बाद थोड़ा चिल होगा.
कुछ नहीं होता कभी.
Actually, you won't like to chill. The thing is कि you see, if you want to chill, you can chill. But if you have a curiosity to learn, there is no time to chill. You will always try to learn something new, something new.
Skullcandy running with us, Vivo, Byju's, Rento Mojo, all of them have been running with us. And soon Dukaan, right? And we are partnering with you guys, on a lot of things, right? And so वो जो scale है ना, वो जो hit मिल रहा है ना, और वो जो एनर्जी मिल रही है, वो बहुत डिफरेंट लेवल की है. व्हेन वी एंड टोटल 20 मिलियन प्लस मैसेजेस व्हाट्सएप के हो चुके हैं. लाइक कंक्लूडिंग दिस, 3 टिप्स फॉर समवन हु बिल्ड अ बिग कंपनी.
First thing is like they should not listen to anybody. What I personally feel is like nobody knows anything. Nice. So stop following all the quotes and retention is important. Second is do whatever you want. Like no, don't ask for the feedback. If somebody tells you कि like आइडिया नहीं चलने वाला, उसको जाके बोलो तू पैसा डाल दे पहले, बाद में देख लेंगे अपन चलेगा नहीं चलेगा. The third is again like you don't have to build companies to impress others or something. Just try to pick a real problem and start solving. It's as that simple. बाकी तो figure out कर लो.
Right. And Subhash, for you?
I think the same ही है. 3 मतलब I won't say 3. मैं एक ही बोलता हूँ. There is no.
इतना सिंह कैसे है भाई?
Same है. हम.
There is no set formula. There is no set formula to build a $1 billion, $10 billion एक large company. सबका अलग-अलग स्टोरी है. सबका अलग-अलग चलता है. कुछ फार्मूला नहीं है. आपको सब कुछ फिगर आउट खुद से करना है. Nobody is going to help you other than you. आपको जो खुद ना खुद से करना है, खुद की सुननी है. चल गया तो भी सही है, नहीं चला तब भी सही है, चल गया तब भी लोग गाली देंगे, नहीं चला तब भी लोग गाली देंगे.
Correct.
तो आपको अपने हिसाब से देखना कैसे चलाना है, किसी की मत सुनो, फिगर आउट करो
सर्वर फटता है.
या गेम खेलो, फीफा खेलो.
ठीक है. तो नहीं फटता हमारा, इतना नहीं फटता, बट आई लाइक द प्रेशर. अगर कुछ होता है तो आई लाइक द प्रेशर. वी नो कि यार इतने सारे स्टोर्स का धंधा बंद है.
एक तो ये लगता होगा यार अच्छा हुआ.
See, that is good problem to have, but that is on early stage when you are like 1 month, 3 months. Now, if आपका सर्वर बंद है and let's say VU का स्टोर बंद है, that is not a good problem to have. That is very bad problem to have, and we don't let that happen.
Plus, people do understand it's a technology will break. But what technology can do, the physical world cannot do. तो ठीक है, कभी भी फटेगा. फेसबुक फटता है, इंस्टाग्राम फटता है, फोटो पोस्ट नहीं होता, लोग अब पागल हो जाते हैं. देन दे स्टार्टेड रियलाइजिंग oh real people they have formed that way, they are nice people, right? So ठीक है, it's fine.
This was Sumit and Subhash for you guys, and I think this was one of the funniest and one of the most joyful conversations I've ever had, and the more energetic also.
And the more realistic one, I would say. That is the key.